In the National Security Committee statement, Pakistan's civil and military leadership has issued a subtle warning, without taking any names, to the Afghan Taliban, essentially telling them to deny safe havens to the TTP. Last week, we also saw a back and forth between the two sides, with Afghan Taliban warning that they know how to defend Afghanistan, in response to Rana Sanaullah's statement of, his threat of attacking TTP hideouts in Afghanistan. Do you see Pakistan heading towards a confrontation with Afghanistan on this matter? And if so, what will be the ramifications of it?
So the terror spike in Pakistan has been quite monumental, and all of a sudden things have gone pretty bad. No matter how much the Afghan Taliban tried to deny the presence of the Pakistani Taliban in Afghanistan, it was pretty evident. You could see it even during the peace talk, when delegations from Pakistan were visiting Afghanistan. You could see Umar Khalid Khorasani with the senators of Pakistan sitting there. You could also see them when Mufti Taqi Usmani was there. You could see their leaders present in Afghanistan. And when it comes to, I was listening to Salim Safi's program with Zabiullah Mujahid some time back, and he even asked them the question about the Durand Line and its status, its legal status, and its status as an international border. And he was very quick to dismiss the border status of it, and he said it's a dividing line between the Pashtuns and between the tribes, and it's something that divides people instead of uniting them. So by this time, any argument that says that there is no presence of Pakistani Taliban in Afghanistan is a very weak statement. So in that regard, when the talks were going on, we were covering it quite extensively. But now there is a feeling that maybe the Pakistani government wants to talk directly to the interim Afghan setup in Kabul, instead of talking about negotiations in a silo or with a faction of the Afghan Taliban. Probably they want to turn this into a state-to-state kind of a process, because they've done they've tried the other option, and it looks like it didn't work.
Okay, and do you think that involving the state is going to have any impact on decreasing terror activities?
The Pakistani Taliban have a very strong bond with the Afghan Taliban, both ideologically and even during the war against the Allied forces and the war in Afghanistan. The Pakistani Taliban were very strongly allied with the Afghan Taliban even on ground. So they have also been foot soldiers in their ranks. So the bond is very strong, and probably the logic between bringing in the problem as an international problem and as a problem that involves two countries. The Pakistani government is trying to push the Afghan Taliban to get hold of the Pakistani Taliban in a much stronger way. Whether it works or not is something that we will see in the future. But the Afghan Taliban do have an influence, a very strong influence over the Pakistani Taliban, and that is what the state of Pakistan is probably looking into exploiting or using.
As you mentioned, that there has been a spike in terror activities in Pakistan. In the last some 10 days of December, there were some 60 terror incidents, and one of them was in the federal capital. Where do you see this trend lead to in the next few months?
Well, although there might be, previously evidence suggesting that the TTP was operating from within setups in Afghanistan, but recently we can also see that the TTP within Pakistan is active enough to carry out attacks from within their hideouts in Pakistan as well. And Islamabad incident was one of such incidents that shows their capability and their capacity to carry out attacks at this scale and at this level. So I think that this spike is not going to come down in the recent future, and I think the TTP or the Pakistani Taliban have developed enough, capability and capacity to carry out attacks within Pakistan, even if they don't use the Afghan soil.